Hi, welcome to What We Learned This Week, episode 23, where it might not matter.
But we're going to talk about it anyway.
Yes. I'm Shalene.
And I'm Liz.
And we have an awesome opportunity today to hear from a friend.
Facebook friends in the community when you lived in Logan. Yeah, it's a friend.
Yeah. And so without further ado, we're just going to jump right into the interview.
Hi, and welcome to the show, Amelia. We're so excited to have you here today.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
And we are. And Amelia is an acquaintance friend of Shalene's. So Shalene, maybe you could take a moment and introduce us, kind of give us how you know Amelia and get us started so we can get to know Amelia too.
Okay. Well, I think I have been around Amelia. She has like this group of sisters that are like known throughout Cache Valley. They're like all these dynamic women. And I think you have brothers too, don't you?
I have 3 brothers
Okay.
and I have 6 sisters. So there's 10
6
kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's 10 kids all together and we're a pretty close family.
Yes.
I guess I haven't done the math. 4 of us live in the valley, in Cache Valley.
Okay.
And then I have a sister up in Idaho, 2 sisters in Salt Lake. And I hope I'm not forgetting a sister because that would be embarrassing. But
I won't do the math for you.
But don't worry, we love you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everybody. Yeah. So we're all kind of close, geographically. And then I have a brother that's back east, and then a brother that's in Denver, and a brother in Hooper, which is by Roy.
Uh-huh.
So we have the 2 family members that are spread out. The rest of us are pretty close enough that we see each other quite often.
Wow.
Yes. You were known as the Spencer sisters, right? Kind of?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we still are.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah. No, we are definitely the Spencer sisters.
Yeah. They're all so beautiful. I love them. And then, so
Liz is the co-host.
Yes.
Your name is Liz?
Yes.
Oh, Liz, you said like a brave mom or something about my mom.
Yeah, your mom, so brave.
Yeah, well, the joke is that she was raised Catholic, and then when she was, I think, 21 or 22, she joined the Mormon church. So she said she was either way destined to have 10 kids. So it was like,
truth.
That was on her docket. But yeah, we have a big, huge family, and we're really lucky that we're all so close and we take care of each other.
Really lucky that you're so close, because I don't have that many in my family, and we've struggled over the years to just stay connected. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's hard, but yeah, we're lucky.
Awesome. Well, I was acquainted with her husband. He's a twin, right, Amelia?
He's a triplet, yeah.
Oh, triplet. That's right. And one of my college boyfriends were really good friends with her husband. And so I guess we had made that connection, and then we would just see each other places. And then
I forgot who the boyfriend was.
It was Skylar also.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Okay. But we saw each other mostly at the gym.
Yes, we did. It was Gold's, right?
At Gold's gym. Yeah.
And we started taking a hip hop hustle class. And
this
really
is where
liked
you
it.
did your hip hop class, Shalene?
We've talked about it before.
And she was so good.
She still is.
Like, she was really good. And she was like, she'd walk in class, she'd be like, "You guys want to see a white girl shake it?" And it was really fun. I loved that.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. And Amelia introduced me. I think she was like the first person I knew that listened to, I guess, what is now podcast. I'm trying to think if it was a podcast back then, but she introduced me to This American Life. I don't know if you knew that, Amelia. But
no, that doesn't surprise me though, because I'm a pusher with people with podcasts.
But I loved it. But I even think it was before it was a podcast. I think it was when you like had to stream it from their website or whatever.
From the internet. Yes.
And so she's made an impression on my life, even though we have not been that close. So anyway, and she made a post on Facebook. We follow each other on Facebook, and it was so touching to me. I just loved the story, and I felt like she needed to come on and share it. So I invited her on. She said she would do it.
Yay! Yep. And here we are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, well, let's get into the story maybe a little bit, Amelia. Maybe you could tell us a little about what life was like for you, or where you were at several months ago before this post.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. So I have 4 kids, ages, I have a girl that's almost 12. So all my kids' birthdays are in the fall. So I have a girl because we only have sex one time a year. So
nice.
So
lucky guy.
Yeah. So I have a girl who's almost 12, a boy who just turned 10, a girl who's almost 6, and a girl who's almost 2.
Okay.
So those are my kids right now. And so I have the 4 kids, and a few months ago, so for 5 years is how long I've been dealing with a doctor with my depression. And I would say I have moderate depression. I wouldn't call it severe.
Okay.
So, but I mean, like, just if you have any listeners that know what that's like, you're just usually on a low dose of a mood stabilizer or an antidepressant. And so I'm on a little bit of Wellbutrin right now, which I felt like was just kind of keeping me afloat. So what happened to me on Facebook was 8 weeks ago, just so you get a time frame.
All right.
But before that, for I don't know how long it had been going on, I just was like kind of, like you have 4 kids and you're trying to keep them happy and healthy and all those things. And then you're just trying to keep, afloat, just keep your house clean and, just keep everything together.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just, I had depression. I was really hard on myself. Things kind of got to a head, and that's where my sisters stepped in. So leading up to 8 weeks ago, I had just gotten kind of worse with my depression. I was just sad about some circumstances in my life, but I was just really letting it get to me. I was, oh my gosh, PMS, like the 2 days before my period, were almost unbearable. Like really, really dark place in my head, crying so hard, like not wanting to die or hurt myself, but just feeling like so worthless. That's probably how I felt. Just worthless as a human, as a mom, like I felt like the dark place that I usually went to was like, I was feeling so bad for my husband. Like, how did he get stuck with me? Like, when he's such a good person. So that was really hard. And then just overall, I was in a funk. I didn't look forward to things. I just felt like I was in the movie, what's it called? Groundhog Day, which is every day, wake up, feed the kids, clean, feed lunch. Like, I just felt like I was in Groundhog Day, and I wasn't really living. I wasn't tired. I was in the morning, getting up was really hard, just because I didn't want to be awake. I didn't want to have to be awake and be a bad person. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And then, but then getting to bed at night was hard because I wasn't tired. I was anxious. So, I mean, like, you can imagine, people on the outside probably thought I was fine. And there are people like that walking all over the place, but I was just kind of absolutely miserable and trying really hard to pretend like I wasn't, because I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to bug people.
Right.
And so I feel like every day at about 4 p.m., I just felt defeated. Like, what have I even accomplished today? Now it's almost dinner time. Now I have to it was just this weird, like, every day at 4 o'clock, I would just kind of fall apart in my head. So anyway, so that was awful. And then finally, I can't remember the exact dates, but it was like the 3rd week of June, my sisters just asked if they could talk to me. And I kind of knew what was coming, and that they were just going to talk to me, like, ask me what was going on and what was wrong. So they met with me and basically had like an intervention, like so this is my 2 of my sisters that live here in the Valley with me.
Okay.
And we're all pretty close. Our kids are close in age, and we spend a lot of time together. So they could tell, like, they see me enough that they could tell I was like forcing a smile and like just kind of just really trying hard to act normal, but they could see something wasn't right. And when they'd come over to my house, even the state of my house, like, everything was a mess. I just couldn't get myself to like properly take care of my house. And anyway, so they just kind of confronted me, and they were like, what is going on? Is there something going on? And I just, obviously broke down and was crying. And I was saying, I just have depression. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, and they were like, well, we have to do something. Like, we're your sisters. I was like, they were like, what can we do? And I was like, I don't know. And this was after like an hour of a hard conversation with them. And finally I just said, I don't know what you can do. I just have to figure it out. And so they said, well, we have to do something. So we walk every day. We go walking every day, every morning. So we want you to just come with us tomorrow. And just because that's something. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. So the next morning I woke up, which actually that was pretty shocking to me that I even got myself out of bed at a time that I could go walking. So it was at 7:30 in the morning. I met with my sisters up at my one sister's house. She doesn't live very far from me. And we just started walking, and we just kind of kept it light. They didn't talk to me about anything like serious. And then we walked down from my sister's house and then up, we'd like made a loop, and then we looped over and we went up back towards my sister's house. And right when we got there, my one sister said, well, okay, we're done. That's 5K. And I about died. I was like,
wow.
I was like, because I guess I have to backtrack a little bit. I had worked out a lot my whole life. I love like, aerobics classes, like the one I had with Shalene. Like I love all that stuff. But then before I got pregnant with my last baby, I just stopped working out. I just was not feeling good with my pregnancy. And then after I had my last baby, I just never started. I was like, I have 4 kids. When am I going to find the time?
Yeah.
And like saying that now, I'm like, that's so ridiculous, because now I am finding the time to do it. But that's really how I felt. I was like, when can I do this? So I just didn't. And then all of a sudden 2 years had passed. I can't believe I didn't work out for that long. I didn't do anything. There were some days when my phone only said that I walked like 2,000 steps in a whole day. Like that's bad. That's like really sedentary. So anyway.
What kind of survival mode? So it sounds like you were kind of in survival mode.
I was.
Then. Yeah.
I was. And, I don't like to pity myself or even really talk about it, because I don't have it as bad as a lot of people. I have a good husband. I have a house. You know what I mean? I have all these nice things that I don't want to complain about. But yeah, I was mentally in survival mode, and I wasn't doing very well at all. So anyway, so then we did this walk, and all of a sudden we had done a 5K, and I was kind of freaking out. I was like, I just did a 5K. I'm like, I have not gotten up for 2 years. And I was really excited about it. So like as Shalene said, I posted about it. We took a picture of us, and I posted about how great my sisters are, that they dragged me out of bed and, got me going. So then after that day, I decided, I'm like, I'm going to walk every day outside, and I'm just going to make this a thing, and I'm just going to do it, and I'm not going to let it fizzle.
Wow.
So the next day I got up, and I sometimes go with my sisters, and sometimes, we can't match up our time. So we all just do it separately. But yeah, that started on, I think, June 22nd, or that like around June 23rd. That's when I really started to work out every day. And my sisters also said, getting a fitness tracker will really help motivate you. So I started looking online for an Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened my other sister, my Idaho sister, was selling hers because she got a new one. So then I all of a sudden had an Apple Watch to help me track my fitness.
Nice.
And so I don't know if you guys have Apple Watches, but for people that do, there are these rings on it that close once you do a certain thing in a day. So
yes.
I want to burn 600 calories from moving, and that's one ring. And then I want to stand at least once a minute for 12 hours, and that's a ring. And then your workout ring. So anyway, so I started trying to close these rings every day, and that's been a really awesome motivator also, since I've been doing this walking. But really the main thing I've been doing that has changed everything is just walking outside every day for 30 to 60 minutes. And that's all I've done. And it really has changed everything.
Oh my gosh. Well, you say for a former gym rat, right?
Yeah, I totally was. And you remember, I saw you in there all the time.
Did you feel at first like walking doesn't count?
No, and this is why.
Okay.
I didn't, because the very first time I went walking, it wasn't like a 20-minute walk. in my neighborhood and back. It was uphill 24 flights
wow.
with my sisters. Like there's this hill by her house that from bottom to top is 24 flights. And that's what we did. So I was scared when in the moment I was like, this is scary. This is hard. I don't know. Like, but I just kept, huffing and puffing. I was totally jello after.
Okay.
So yeah, I think if I would have gone on like more mellow walk to start out, I would have maybe thought that like that, I don't know, that it wasn't a workout. Yeah. But this was a workout. And so, yeah, so there are some days that I go over to that hill and I walk all the way up and I'm jello afterwards. And there are some days when I'll just go over to my cemetery and like not climb any flights. So, but I mean, I always try to go at a quick pace.
That's awesome. I think more people, I think we feel like we have to burn a certain amount of calories or huff and puff. I don't know, like in a class to make it count, but it doesn't. Like you can do something simple as walking, just getting outside and it counts. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, like, cause I mean, I've done all the classes where you're dripping sweat for an hour and you seriously burn like 600 calories in 1 hour, and it's insane and it's intense and it feels good. But I really feel almost just as good just going on a walk, and I'll do like a mile in 17 minutes. So it's like it's a pretty good pace of walking.
Yeah.
But anyway, just doing that though feels just as good.
Does it really? That's awesome.
And all the studies show like walking outside does all these things for you because of just being outside in nature.
That's what I was,
and just seeing trees and seeing people.
That's what I was going to ask next. Is you've mentioned a couple of times the outside part, the outside component, and I was wondering as well if that's what made as much of a difference to you. The movement is one thing, but I don't know. Like, is it feeling connected to something else? Is it just?
Oh, absolutely. Like so many things. So, I mean, there have been a couple days in this since I started walking that I've gone to the gym, and I don't even know why. I think it maybe was like cold that day or hot that day, like something, but most days I do it outside and I just try to do it when it's not too hot. But yeah, I feel like, first of all, I feel connected to my neighborhood because I've done so many different, so I try to walk 5 kilometers a day, which,
okay.
Did I say kilometers? Is it kilometers? I don't know what.
I think it's the same.
Anyway.
It's fine.
Well,
depends on what part of the country you're from.
So yeah, or what country.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I try to walk a 5K every day, which is 3.1 miles.
Okay.
So I try to walk 1.6 miles in any direction, and then I walk home.
Okay.
So I've done so many loops around my house that are 1.5 miles from my house and back. And I live in a really hilly area of Cache Valley. So every time I go, it's really diverse. And then I can find paths that I really like loops that I really like. And I'll do those, a lot of times. And I know exactly how long it takes. So yeah, I feel connected to my community as like geographically. Like I love seeing everybody's yards and like the work they put into their flower beds. And I love walking past neighbors that have dogs, and I have a dog. So we let our dogs say hi and we say hi. And I felt connected that way. And
that's cool.
Just even running past or walking past all the runners, you see the same people. If you go walking at the same time every day, you see the same people every day. And you start to get to know each other's faces, and that's been great. And then also even being connected to my kids, like, cause they'll come with me sometimes, and my husband wants to join in. And then, those walks, I don't get to go as fast because my 5-year-old wants to stop and pick everything up, but that's being connected to her, and we're being connected to nature. And so, yeah, it's like, there's so many connections that I've made just from walking outside.
That's so cool.
That is, wow.
What a neat story to be able to share of something like that with a really positive result.
Yeah. The results have been, I don't know what I was expecting, but it's exceeded whatever I could have expected with as far as results.
So tell us some of the results that you've had. I'm sure, like you said, the mood altering. Have you been off your medicine, or are you still on your medicine?
No. Okay. So I'm still on my Wellbutrin. Anybody who's listening that has been on it, they'll understand that I accidentally went off of it for a few days one time, and it was like bad. It was so bad.
Really?
And you can just spiral really badly. So if I do get off Wellbutrin in the future, which I definitely could, with the right exercise and I mean, not everybody can just get off their meds.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And they shouldn't. But
Absolutely.
if I did want to someday, I would have to taper off slowly. And
so it's not a cold turkey. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I did cold turkey accidentally, and it was really bad.
Okay.
So, so I'm still on Wellbutrin, but I wasn't doing very well, obviously, as I told you guys.
Yeah.
But now I'm happy to wake up in the morning, and that's huge.
That is huge.
My circadian rhythm has completely corrected itself. Like, I'm actually tired at 11, and then I wake up on my own at 7. And that's something that I have been,
really?
It's been amazing. And I wake up feeling good. I wake up like not being like sad to get out of bed and to face another day. And
that's amazing.
You know, yeah, no, that's
actually a big deal.
Huge. It is. No, it's a huge deal. My circadian rhythm was horrible, and it made me miserable. It was just part of my, misery. But yeah, being able to just be tired at night and just go to bed and just wake up in the morning. I mean, that's been amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And then, I look forward to things now, just everything. I look forward to closing my rings on my watch. Yeah. So I just can't believe how just this little thing has changed so many aspects of my life.
Wow. Physically, what have you noticed?
Physically, first of all, I have energy.
Awesome.
Like, I'm not like in the day, like wanting to just sit and do nothing. I have had the energy to just be a mom, to just do this. Maybe I don't know how many moms like just naturally are good at housekeeping and, the monotony of being a mom, but I'm just not good at it. Maybe that's a story I'm telling myself, but I feel like I've never been good at it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jody Moore, for that.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Jody Moore. So
no, you're not alone, Amelia.
I feel like
you're not alone.
Okay. Yeah. I know I'm not alone, but it's just, but I go into people's houses and it's spotless and I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh geez.
Yeah. You don't know how many of them have cleaners though, or just as,
I know.
Serious.
I know. Cause I walked into one friend's house and it was immaculate. And then she told me she only has one son and he's 15. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, well, then that's okay. Because there's toys all over my house. But anyway, what I was saying was that now just being a mom, like a quotation marks mom, just being able to just get things done in my house and just like be go, go, go and not be like tired or run down or in a funk. It just feels really good to be able to do that. And I have already, like I was pretty overweight a year ago and I dieted last fall and winter. First I did intermittent fasting and then I did keto and I dropped some weight and that was good. But then since I started walking, it's like dropped another 5 pounds. So cool. People have started to notice that I'm a lot less chubby than I was a year ago. And so people have been like, oh, what are you doing? You look so good. And I'm like, well, sit and don't do anything for 2 years and then start working out. And then your body will just react. It's amazing. So, cause my body has just reacted to like this shock.
It kind of likes it, huh?
Through my system. It does. And so that's not cool for people that work out every day, but that's just what happened to me. So,
oh, wow.
So on your post, Shalene had sent me just a screenshot of the post. And there were a couple of questions on it. I was having a hard time figuring out where the questions had come from because you'd said, this was me a few weeks ago. And was it just something that you had like kind of found online or was it something your sisters had brought to you? And they were like,
oh, no. Are you talking about the meme?
Yeah, the meme. That's what it was.
Okay. So there was a meme and I can pull it up or if you want to read it, but I think we should read it. Facebook.
Yeah, would you?
You go ahead and read it, and then I'll say, wait, who's going to read it?
Shalene.
Okay.
I don't have the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
You read it. Part of it. It says like reasons,
8 signs you're burned out. That one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you want to go one at a time and kind of talk about it or just all of it?
Just all of it. Just read
okay. All right. So 8 signs that you're burned out. You're not taking care of your basic needs. You're snoozing your alarm too much. I think snoozing is such a weird word. Okay. Your to-do list is overwhelming. Your life doesn't motivate you. You're not having a break. You're getting overly irritated by other people. You're living on autopilot, and your thoughts are negative.
Oh my gosh. See, hearing you say that was me. Like,
wow.
It makes me like, I'm going to keep it together, but I could just cry because that was me.
Wow. And the only thing you changed was exercise.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's because the exercise, it was the beginning of like, what is it called? Like the domino
Mm-hmm.
effect. Because
it spiraled. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Exercising made me drink more water. And then that was helping me, my digestion. And then it was making me eat healthier. It's been a total domino effect. And it's been amazing. But yeah, so I just was scrolling and I saw that, and it totally described me, like exactly how my days were going before I started walking. And so it was just on my friends, like she had just posted it. And then so I screenshotted it and put it on my Facebook and wrote a post about it, about how, anyway, so what was your question?
Yep, that was it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I just found it from a friend's Facebook page, and I just thought it described me so well before I started walking. So then I decided to just post again and say, like, kind of as a follow-up, and kind of a little bit for me to like take ownership and also be accountable to like all my friends and family that saw the first post, like so they could know, like, I have been doing this and it's working.
Wow.
And so yeah, because everything, all of those things on that list changed.
I can't help
like within weeks.
Right. And I can't help but think of how, though, you posting something like that has affected others too, though, and realizing what a difference it does make. I mean, I don't know. It's a motivator in a different way. There's one thing when we see things that are like the cheerleader, you can do this, pump it up, lose some weight, whatever. But it's different when you're in it and you've had to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps almost. I mean, you had an intervention, you had a beautiful interaction with your sisters, but I don't know. I don't have a statistic on every single person that's experienced something like this before, but I feel like it'd be fairly safe to say that we've all felt one of those things, if not several of them at the same time on that list. And recognizing the power that, I don't know, that getting out really did make for you, and being connected to nature and the outdoors and all those other things, and just getting back to the things that are the most important so that you could, like you said, quotations, be a mom and function still in your life. I don't know. I think that's really powerful, and I think it reached out maybe more than you might have realized. I mean, Shalene saw it and was really touched by it, right?
Yeah, I was.
I don't know what the difference is between luck and fortune, but I was either lucky or fortunate that my sisters had that intervention with me.
Yeah.
But I realized not everybody, some people are going to have those 8 signs of having burnout, and they don't have 2 sisters that come and like help them.
Right.
So so me posting that and so many people reaching out to me has made me feel like maybe I have made a slight difference in some people's lives, because so many people have DM'd me and texted me and said, thank you so much for writing that. I'm going to start working out today. I haven't in so long, and I know it's affecting me. And like, I just had so many emails like that. So that made me feel really happy. Like, posting that wasn't just self-indulgent. It was, it could actually help some friends of mine in the, social media world. So that has been really amazing.
And it's interesting because when I read that, I didn't think, my first thought wasn't, oh, she's bragging about something. My thought was, she's coming from such an authentic place and she's learned something that she wants to share. And, that's kind of the theme of our podcast.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I posted it. Yeah. Not to brag that I have like really awesome sisters, which I do.
Right.
But yeah, I guess I don't know maybe the reason I did it at first, but maybe, the first post I did because I was so excited.
Yeah.
But then when so many people reached out to me, it made me really happy that maybe I could be a tiny bit of an example of how you can be really, really low and do something really small and come out of it. Yeah. And come out of it either a little bit or a lot, but enough to help.
Right. That little small thing does make a difference. Did I see that it was your birthday, the end of July?
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, that's cool. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Would you, looking back at where you were a year ago at your birthday, I love birthdays because I think that's why in the end of August, September, that's when I always like kind of reevaluate rather than the first of the year. I love birthdays for it instead. Would you have thought you would be here right now? Like a year ago?
I'm trying to think where I was a year ago. I think a year ago is just, it's different. I mean, a year ago, I had this really sweet little baby and she was so easy and cute. And now she's almost 2 and she's still cute, but she's, obviously
different.
Really hard. So she was just this really sweet little bundle of joy. And I was like really chubby, but I was like, oh, I'll, my baby's small. I'll work out later. I'll do it later. So I wasn't really depressed a year ago. That came later. But I think a year ago I was obviously I was just in like 3 kids and a baby mode. So, but when my depression got pretty bad, I think maybe at the beginning of the year, the beginning of 2019 is when I started to kind of spiral downward until June. That was when I was like, I kept saying the words like, I need to figure this out, but I wasn't changing anything because I felt like all of my resources and my time were spent just trying to keep my kids happy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't even care about my own happiness. I was like, as long as they're happy and they don't witness me like a total wreck, like that's all I cared about at the moment.
Well, doesn't that kind of happen?
Yeah, I couldn't.
When we are I've brought up survival mode a couple of times, but it really does happen when we're there. There's this mentality that shifts so that we're just getting by. We're white knuckling, or we're I think there's something called
and I felt like there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. So figure this out just meant, I mean, you opened yourself to maybe something shifting, but figure this out is if we don't have the tools or I don't know. I mean, it's not like you hadn't worked out in your life, but when you're in that place, there's a lot. We need that support from others, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And that's one thing I really learned from this was, having hard conversations, which I don't know if that's another thing Jody Moore coined, but, that's where I learned that. Yeah. Because hard conversations are hard. They're hard and they're awkward to start, but they're necessary and they help you.
Yeah.
And they help you and they help the people that you love. So
I think it just reminds me too that there's, like you said, there's so many people that we don't even know what they're going through, right? There's so many people that could be experiencing some variety of this. And it just, I tease Shalene every once in a while. She not tease, but she likes to share the analogy of driving, right? And we brought that up a couple of times where if they're driving crazy, that there's a reason for it. They're driving crazy because they're rushing to the hospital.
Yeah.
But just having that mentality that you're just remembering that there are so many things we don't know about that people are experiencing behind closed doors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Okay. Well, is there anything else, Amelia, that you wanted to share?
Yeah. I just think it's funny. Your whole life you hear about studies on, or like you come across articles on Facebook that are like a 30-minute walk can do this and this and this for you.
Right.
And it talks about, you hear things about endorphins, like all of these things. Like I'm educated, like I'm smart.
Yeah.
And I knew all of that, but to get myself to do it, I don't know why it was the hardest thing to just get outside. So it's just crazy now that I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, duh. This is what like every study has ever shown would happen to me. So I'm really happy that it's now my turn to experience it. And I definitely don't want to quit. I want to keep it going. I wanted to say about hard conversations, because I feel like that has a lot to do with my story, was that my sisters were willing to do that for me.
Yeah.
Because we did fight at the beginning of our conversation.
Really?
Because I felt like, because, I'm human. And so the first thing I do is get defensive, and I did. So I was getting defensive. So them talking to me makes me think of this quote that I saw a long time ago that says, truth without tact is cruelty. So they could have been, they needed to tell me some hard truths and they could have been cruel, but they were coming out of a place of love. They came from a place of love, and luckily I knew that. So that's why I could like kind of calm my jets and like listen to them. And then the other thing if you need to huge takeaway somebody to have a hard conversation with them, or if somebody's going to have one with you, you just have to, this is from my time listening to Jody Moore, but you have to know that they're coming from a place of love, and you have to come from a place of love. So that was a big takeaway for me. And then my huge takeaway, I think we've said this throughout this interview, is that even a very small but intentional change in your everyday life could change everything.
Yeah.
And you just don't know. So just do it. So, I mean, and I hate that I just said that, to just do it, because I couldn't. I couldn't just do it. Like if somebody was like, Amelia, you're depressed, just go walking every day. I would have been like, get out of my face. But so I don't know how to say that, how to say to people, please, if you can, then do it. If you can't, give yourself a second, and
that's nice.
Maybe you'll be able to. I don't know what to say, because I couldn't do it.
Help of somebody, right? Because your sisters did it with you the first time. You didn't get out of bed and say, I'm going to go walk today. That wasn't even in your frame of reference, right? So does that maybe?
Yes. So that's the thing. So if you're in a place where you can invite somebody that you feel is struggling, and not even to walk, just if you feel like somebody needs to go to lunch and just, get something off their chest. I don't know. I just think, so it's just really made me see inviting someone to do something, that's never a bad idea, and it can't hurt. So, and it could potentially change a lot of things for the better.
Yeah.
I love that.
Just one idea I had from that, Amelia, is that your sisters gave you the accountability. And I think as human beings, we do need that accountability. We do need someone to sometimes monitor us, especially when we're so low that we can't monitor ourselves. And so your sisters really gave you a huge gift. And I think, if someone didn't have that intervention, asking for someone's help would be really, really hard.
Yeah.
But it could change your life. Like you said, Amelia, it's one simple ask could change everything.
Yeah. Well, and then, so a week after I had started walking with them, I was like, thank you guys so much, because I wouldn't have done this on my own. And then my sister Leah said, but she said, we invited you, but you're the one who came.
Yeah.
Aww. She's like, you didn't have to come. You could have just kept being miserable and kept, and kept thinking you would figure it out another way, like with more medicine or something. She's like, you're the one that actually got up, and you're the one who keeps getting up. So that meant a lot to me. I was like, okay, I'm allowed to be proud of myself, that I'm the one that has gotten up every day to do this. So.
Well, I think that's really important, because one thing I remember hearing you say at the very beginning of kind of our conversation was, I know so many people, I'm so blessed. I have a wonderful husband. I have a house. I have children that I love. All these things that rob us of, I don't know. I think it's really important, like you just said, that you're allowed to feel that. You're allowed to feel pride, but you're also allowed to feel the fact you were depressed. You're struggling with depression, whatever that is. You're allowed to feel all of those things. It's not a comparison of a right to struggle, a right to be hurt, or a right to be happy on the other side.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Because when you have depression, you tend to say well, I shouldn't feel this way. Because because of all the things I just said. I have 4 healthy children. I have a house and a husband, and these things that other people would love to have. So I'm not allowed to feel this bad. So I'm just going to really, really try hard to fake like I'm okay.
Right. And that never works.
So it doesn't. That's, I tried one time, self-medicating my depression with seriously binging 30 Rock. And,
really?
And Parks and Rec. It was okay, but turns out you do need medication. You can't just watch
Leslie Knope.
Day. Yeah, and I wasn't moving. I was just on my bed, sedentary, and so you need to get the movement in there too.
Well, and I think I do that too a lot of times, and it's sorry to quote Jody again, but that buffering. It's unwilling to really do something, so you're just kind of doing a little bit
when you're numbing.
I don't know.
Yes, numbing. I was numbing definitely with TV. Yeah. And I don't feel like we should feel bad about quoting Jody. I'm sure she'll be grateful that we love Jody. So,
that's true. I think people get sick of it because I talk about her all the time.
You do? That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was actually on a call that you were on like a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And I was like going to do a shout out, but I didn't think that was very appropriate. So
you should have. I really wish you would have actually.
You're like,
fine, we're here now.
You are kicked off. Yeah.
No.
All right, Amelia, did you have anything else?
No, I think I talked about, I feel like I talked a lot.
It was awesome. It was so great.
But, yeah,
it was.
But no, I'm really and that's the thing. My house is still not a, a wreck, like quotation marks wreck.
Yeah. People live there.
But we're we live here but things are so much better. Like things nothing has changed. Nothing in my life has changed drastically, but all these little things have changed to make my whole existence with my husband and children so much better.
Oh.
It's been so good.
Do you think your kids recognize you being down?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I could ask my 10 and 12-year-old, and they would. I think I could ask them, and they would tell me the truth. But I was trying so hard to fake like everything was fine.
Yeah.
So I guess that part of me wants to know how good I did of acting, but
how successful you were.
But maybe I wasn't successful, and maybe I need to tell them, that's what happens sometimes, and as an adult, and you should get help and not think that you just have to sit there and be silent.
And what a great lesson to hand to your kids, because I see kids all the time dealing with some of these really heavy emotions. And I remember the first time I realized that adults were flawed. And I think I was like 15 or 16. It took me that long. And I had babysat for somebody, and I came home, and a couple years later, my dad's like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy that beat his wife." And I was like,
"Oh my gosh.
What?"
You're just like what?
Adults do that? Yeah. Every adult I look to is like this perfect specimen. And so we do want our kids to look up to us, but being real and offering that to them, I think, is such a gift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. We really have enjoyed having you on the show today, Amelia. And it's been
thank you so much.
Yeah, but we need to ask her what she's learned this week.
That's what she learned.
No, remember? Oh my gosh.
No.
Okay, so
this is why Shalene is my partner.
So our podcast is called What We Learned This Week. And I was just wondering, Amelia, since this has been an ongoing journey, is there anything that's recently you've learned, something small, something funny? I don't know. Is there anything that you've learned this week?
Well, it doesn't. What if what I learned this week doesn't directly have? I don't know if it directly has to do with my walking.
No, I want it to do with anything.
Anything.
Like,
she wants it to be in. Yeah,
definitely.
You went to the dollar store and found something. Yeah.
Yeah. My big thing that I've really learned this week, and it's really been really a beautiful thing, is so I used to listen to this podcast called, I think it's just called Happier, with Gretchen Rubin. You guys know that one?
Yeah.
She's a happiness expert. So I fluctuate between like what I'm listening to, and that one I listened to for a while, and it kind of fizzled. But something I really took away from her podcast was, she said, like, she had this list of like 10 things to make you happy. And one of them was become a tourist in your hometown.
Oh.
And I've had the opportunity. I don't know if I manifested it into the universe, because I was thinking that I'd never been to the Oneidas, which is like a river. You float this like river up in Idaho, and everybody does it here, but I had never gone. And then I just happened to get invited a little bit ago. So anyway, so I feel like this last week I've done all these things that are like being a tourist in my hometown, like doing things that in my hometown, or not my hometown per se, but my community, Cache Valley. I've been doing things that are just here, but I've actually been doing them. And it's been really amazing. So floating the Oneidas, it was a beautiful float. We just floated on rafts, on tubes for like 2 hours. And it was really beautiful. And I was like, I can't believe I've never done this before. It's just right here. It's like an hour away from Logan.
Wow.
And then, everything else, just there's just a bunch of beautiful places here in Cache Valley. So I went to Porcupine Dam for the first time in 20 years. I went hiking. I took my kids up to this place in Logan called Wind Caves.
Love the Wind Caves.
It's about an hour hike up. Yeah, and then and I hadn't done that since high school.
That's so cool.
And I took my 3 older kids, and they did so good. Even my 5-year-old, like, never complained.
Oh, no.
And so I just feel like we've done all these cool things. And I'd never been to a rodeo. I went to my first rodeo a week ago.
Wow.
And that was amazing. So this week, just especially, we've done all these cool tourist in my hometown type things. So I just think that's such a cool thing to do. I really live in a beautiful place, but I'm sure everybody has beautiful things in there where they live that they need to just go check out. So.
That is so cool. It's funny that you say that. I have a friend who goes on vacation by herself to like other countries, and she was in Croatia. Cool. Yeah. And I would never think,
that sounds beautiful.
I know, I'm going to go to Croatia, but she went, and just all these little things that she saw and just noticing. And I thought, there's stuff right around here that someone from another country might come and visit. I need to explore.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where I'm at.
That's so cool.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm going to do
that's
that.
how I felt.
That's cool.
So, been good.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. Thanks for putting up with us. That was awesome.
Oh, no, I love it.
Okay.
Hey,
thanks, Amelia.
Thanks for reaching out. This was awesome.
I have a question of the week, Liz, and it's kind of a dumb one.
Let's hear it.
We've been thinking lots about pets in our family.
Oh.
We're not really a pet family. We had a fish for a while.
Did it die? Did you have to flush it?
It lasted 3 years. We were done.
Oh,
I mean, that was a pretty good life for a betta fish, I felt like.
Sure.
And I feel so bad for them just floating around by themselves. I mean, I guess they eat
they like it
with another fish, so
yeah,
sounds so terrible. Anyway, if you could have any pet, like any animal for a pet, what would you have? Like a zoo animal, and everything worked out, like you could have a place for them to stay and everything like that. What would you have?
Oh my gosh, I love this question. Actually, I think it's really cute. I actually have 2.
Okay.
The first thought I had was I always wanted an iguana in our tub. I had a friend.
Is it because I had a friend or something?
I don't know. I just had a friend that I remember she had an iguana, and I would go visit her, and it would like sit in her bathtub, sit in her sink. They'd give her like, here's some vegetables, here's some cheese, and it just hung out. It was like the bathroom dweller, and I just thought it was so cool. And I always wanted, because so reptiles, all that stuff has never bothered me. My boys find snakes every 2 seconds, and we've had snakes and lizards, and our bearded dragon was one of the most fun pets we ever had. I wish we would have kept it. So I don't mind any of that. And I just thought that would be fun for the boys to grow up with. And they're big. They kind of crawl around. So that's one. And the other one, of course, would be a baby elephant. Yeah. Yep.
But what about when it grew up?
I don't know. You said it didn't matter. So I picked a baby elephant. I just want a baby elephant. I want to scratch behind its ears, let it blow, suck up water and blow it on me, give it baby elephant baths. They're just so cute. After seeing them in that orphanage, that elephant orphanage in Africa, I've already loved elephants my whole life, but I was like, I want to take one home with me. Yeah.
That is awesome. My mom and I went to the zoo, and we missed the elephant show. But
oh no, it's the best.
But it was the best part of the whole thing as we sit there and watched, and this elephant was like a pouty teenager. It was over in the corner, and it kept like hitting its trunk on the wall and then like shaking its head. And, it was so hilarious. Like just this teenage elephant just having a little moment. It was so funny. Anyway, I love it.
They're not far off from us then, are they?
No. And I have 2 actually too. I remember
let's hear it.
When George Clooney got a pet pig, I was like, yes.
Like a potbelly pig?
Yes, it was so cute.
You and my husband are so weird. He wants one too. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Oh my gosh, it was so cute. And then
that is so funny.
Yeah. Whenever I go to the zoo and I see giraffes, I am like just like caught in this moment of majesty, and I like almost get teary when I see them. And I don't know why. Because
that's how I feel about elephants.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the giraffe, but if I could have one in my backyard, I just think it would be so fun.
I don't know. He could probably pull that off. He could eat stuff off the trees and other people's trees as he leaned over the fence.
And think about how happy people would see if they drove by and they saw a giraffe head sticking like above my roof.
I feel like they'd be really happy.
Yeah. I do too. It'd be a moment of majesty for all of us.
And he probably doesn't need a big area. Like they don't run around for fun and need all this active play, right? They just need to be fed and hang out.
I guess so. I don't know. It just seems so cool. So I'm glad that we have dream pets. That's awesome. Don't tell my kids.
Oh yeah, no, they can't know. You're gonna end up with a potbelly pig.
Well, they want to get.
I don't think they're hairy. Oh no, those are stinky.
That's what I've heard. But my little girl just needs something to like love on.
Love, yeah.
And we can't decide.
They don't like let you hold them and snuggle them though. I think you should get a potbelly pig. They're actually really clean, I've heard, and they're not like hairy like my dog that I have to vacuum every 3 days after.
I'll have to look into it. If anybody knows about potbelly pigs, let me know because I'll present it to my husband.
No, this is when you ask forgiveness, not permission, honey.
Shoot.
You get one and you're like, honey, you were gone for a month to Alaska. I can't help what happened while you were gone.
But I'm sure they're not like a cheap pet to buy.
I don't think it's that bad.
Really?
Think of like what people spend for their dogs.
I know. It's crazy.
I saw these little baby dachshunds in the park like a month ago. Oh my gosh, I almost died. Seriously, I was going to buy one on the spot. And Adam was like, for how much? He was like, I've been selling them for $9. I could give them to you for $800 today. Okay, fine, $700. Like he kept trying to tell. I'm like, are they papered? Like what? No, but they are purebreds. Well, that's great. But $800 for some random dachshund I saw in the park? Like, you're killing me right now. I'm sure you'd be fine.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I should Google it right now.
Yeah, maybe you should.
I should. I bet you there's one on KSL.
Because then Steve will be mad at you and not me.
I know. I could totally handle that. And don't forget, if you haven't registered just yet for our retreat, we are closing in on the dates. Prices go up in the last week or two before the retreat. So reserve your spot now. The food is going to be off the hook because Shalene, we already know. And we've been going over our itinerary and activities. There will be 2 delicious sessions of yoga, a hike, not too invigorating, just a beautiful connected to nature hike. We'll be doing a little full moon activity and little mini meditations, just a great opportunity to get away for a couple of days. And here's another plug for the yoga. If this is not something that you're used to or that you've done a lot of, don't worry. It's super, super beginner oriented. You could seriously have never done any yoga and show up and participate for that weekend. It's a great opportunity to sort of transition into the new season and the holidays. And we'd love to see you there. Check out our website, www.whatwelearnedthisweek.com. We're on Spotify podcast for Apple Podcast.
Yeah, and if you have trouble finding us, for some reason, if you don't put any spaces in between the words, it'll come up. I don't know why that is.
Try it both ways. It depends on your platform. It depends on your platform, but try it without spaces or with spaces. I think it's Spotify that you have to do no spaces. And tell us what pet you would have. And if there's been any intervention that someone has staged for you in the past, maybe, or just an experience you had that really made a difference, that made some changes in your life, just like what we talked about today with Amelia. Thank you for listening and keep on learning because it does matter.
And so do you. Bye.
That's funny.
All right.
Oh, and it gave me the option to do video again. I was like, nope, still can't do it. Love you guys.
Can you see us is my question.
I can, but
your audio just cut out. It wasn't me, I promise. Okay, now you're back.
Hi. Okay. No, I was just saying, I think it's been better. I think I can speak better when I don't have to look at my mug. I hate Marco Polo. I hate looking at myself. I hate it.
That should be I know cute. She is really.
I just love looking at myself. You should. But I don't. Just kidding.
That's next on your list, Amelia.
Sure.
Well, now you can see the state of our real lives here. Don't look too close.
No. Well, no,
meditation.
I put it back so that I could just focus on hearing.
Oh, good.
Okay,
you guys are beautiful, though.
You are. Thank you.
I'm just glad. Let's all just be grateful that my kids did what I asked. I was like, you guys just stay here. Don't come in here.
That's
they
awesome.
They did.
They deserve an ice cream.
I'm in my bedroom.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the 12-year-old did a good job of hurting everybody.
Oh, God bless the oldest.
I know.
Yes.
So it's so nice having an eldest that can actually babysit and be normal.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
When she starts to act up, I'm like, no, you're my normal child. Like, you're not allowed to act like that.
Awesome.
Like, the other ones are allowed to. We have a strict double policy, or like, what is it called? We have a strict, like, you're not allowed to be weird. The other kids are allowed to be bad. So anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
thank you, friend.
All right, well, I'll let you guys go.